Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So I'm back again with another collection update, and this time what we're essentially looking at here is my May 2021 movie haul. So I have some DVDs, some Blu-rays, and then 4K to talk about today, so tons of stuff. There's over, I think I counted just now, there's over 35 items here, so lots to talk about today. So I'm really looking forward to this. I did some Big Lots shopping last month. I did some disc replay shopping because I always do. Some of these are just like brand new releases. Some of them are catalog releases. There's just a whole mix of different items here. So I'm really excited to share with you guys everything that I ended up picking up last month. So if you guys do enjoy these videos, please give them a like. It really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any time at all. Let's dive right in to my May 2021 movie haul. Let's come out of the gate really hot here with a couple DVDs from Disc Replay. Both of these are from The Asylum, which you guys know I am all about. So one of these, even better, is completely factory sealed. So we have Jack the Giant Killer, which of course is the mockumentary for Jack the Giant Slayer, I think it was called, from like 2013-ish. And then we have Hold Your Breath, which is factory sealed, which is just so cool. So you can see on the side, both of them have the Asylum logo on the side there. So you know these are fun. Hold Your Breath I've actually seen before, and I thought it was a relatively decent movie. It's about like an urban legend, I guess, where you should hold your breath whenever you drive past a graveyard. They don't. Something is unleashed and starts attacking them. On the back, it says a new horror classic in the vein of Urban Legend and Final Destination, which is what got me into it because I love both of those. And then on the back of this one, it says Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings. So those are the movies that they are trying to be like, I guess. Though typically when they have those movies on the back, they tend to do their own thing anyway. So it is what it is. But yeah, so 2 new movies for the Asylum collection. And I was actually just thinking that I think I have enough now from the Asylum for it to have its own, like, boutique section, if you will. Obviously, it's not a boutique label, but you know what I mean. It's a special label, so I think I have enough to separate all of my Asylum films out like I do with my Criterion or my Scream Factory or Arrow or whatever the case is. So I think I'm going to make that a project here in the coming weeks. But yeah, 2 new ones that I'm really happy to add to the collection. Jack the Giant Killer and Hold Your Breath, both from the Asylum. This is one that's actually pretty new, and I know there's a Blu-ray of this because I saw it at Best Buy recently, but for the $1 and change I was paying, I figured I'd grab it. This is called The Call, and this is like a throwback to like 80s horror, but you can see it does have Lynn Shay in it. Tobin Bell is in this. Chester Rushing, I'm guessing, is our main character. I don't know that name. But yeah, so this one is from the creators of Final Destination, which is cool, and it just seems like a throwback. So this actually is set in the fall of 1987. There's an accident, but what does it say? A group of small-town friends must survive the night in the home of a sinister couple. So it's going to be very throwback. So I am very much here for this. It sounds really cool. So this is The Call with Tobin Bell and Lynn Shay. This next one is a little bit random, just based on the title, but it's called Perfume, but it's The Story of a Murderer is the subtitle here. And basically, this is one I've heard about over the years. It's supposed to be actually a really dark movie, based on this, like, crazy idea that, the main character's, like, main sense, I guess, is his, sense of smell. And so he comes onto the scent of this woman who he then begins to stalk, and it's called The Story of a Murder, so I'm assuming he kills her. It just becomes obsession from there. So I don't know. It sounds really interesting. I've seen trailers for it. It's just goofy, but just goofy enough to work. So I'm hoping that I enjoy it. So yeah, a really cool one. And besides, Alan Rickman is in this. I don't need to say anything else. That's good enough. So Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. This next one isn't a horror movie, but it looks really awesome, and it's from director Larry Clark, who I know from his movie Bully, which is actually based on like one of the first true crime books that I ever read as a youngster. I think I was in middle school when I read it, but basically this group of people decides to kill their school bully. This is the true story, and they leave his body in the Florida swamplands for the alligators I guess it'd be alligators down there, right, to get them. But obviously things don't go quite the way they anticipate with the disposal of the body. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a true crime story about it. So yeah, the movie is really dark and just grim, just like the book, but he's an excellent director, so I really had to check this one out. This is called Kids, which I know is a relatively popular film. It's probably one of his more well-known films, I would imagine. So yeah, I don't know. It's just going to follow the lives of these, I think they're teenagers, I believe, from what I remember reading about this. A 24 frenetic hours in the life of a group of contemporary teenagers. So I don't know, should be really cool. So excited that I was able to find this one. I've never seen this before. So this release before. So I thought this was a cool find. So Kids, directed by Larry Clark. This one is completely random, but it looks really interesting. It is a sci-fi fantasy film, and it is done in that, like, I don't know, very era-specific CGI, that 3D CGI animation. So I don't know, it looks really interesting, but it's called Kayena, the Prophecy. And basically it is about our main character here, this rebellious teenage girl who is trying to help this planet. They are basically facing extinction, I guess. So she's trying to help them survive, but it has Kirsten Dunst, Richard Harris, and Angelica Houston as voice actors in this. So that's pretty interesting to me, and it looks just cool. So again, it is very era specific with this CGI style, but because of that, I really want to check this one out. So yeah, it had really good reviews when I checked it out too. So looks cool. Kayena, however you say that, Kayena, I'm not sure. The Prophecy, we'll go with that. This next DVD I bought brand new from FYE because it was really cheap. There is a Blu-ray of this if you're interested, but it is a little bit more expensive, so I decided the DVD's fine. I have seen this one before, and I wanted to give it another shot because I liked it the first time I watched it, but I want to like it more, so I want to give it another shot. And it's been probably 10, 15 years since I've seen it anyway. But anyway, this is called Magic, and this stars Anthony Hopkins, Anne Margaret, and Burgess Meredith. It's actually based on a novel written by William Goldman, and it's directed by Sir Richard Attenborough. So, like, these are huge names. Like, this is from 1978. You can see normally $7. I paid $5 for it. But this is a kind of creepy doll movie, which you guys know I love. Basically, Anthony Hopkins' character is a failed magician who finds success as a ventriloquist, and so the pressure is mounting on him too much, so he like flees the city and he takes the ventriloquist dummy with him, and then just these creepy things start happening. So as much as I love, like, you know, Night of the Living Dummy from when I was young, the Goosebumps book, I've yet to see a really genuinely frightening ventriloquist dummy movie. Dead Silence has its moments, but that doesn't really work as a full film. Magic, I thought, was okay. Pin, I've also seen, which isn't a ventriloquist dummy, but it's a dummy of sorts. That one I thought was okay as well. I don't know. If you guys know of any excellent ventriloquist dummy movies or just dummy movies, doll movies like this, let me know, because I'm hoping I find like a really great one eventually. But this one I just need in my collection for the cast, the director. It's great. So yeah, very excited to rewatch this one because I want to give it, like I said, another shot. So Magic from 1978, just an awesome cast and a really cool director with Attenborough. So should be a really cool one for the collection. Moving now over to some of the DVDs I grabbed from Big Lots last month. The first one here is actually a TV series. This is Conan the Adventurer Season 1. So what's really cool about this is it's actually a Shout Factory release. So I've never seen this series before, but it sounds interesting. And it's from Hasbro, of course, G.I. Joe. So yeah, it has a very good backing behind it. So hopefully it'll be enjoyable. The only disappointing thing here is that this does have the mark through the barcode, which you would typically see with like review copies or something like that. So this must have just been a leftover, and you can see the case is a little messed up, but overall it's totally fine. For the $3 I paid, I'm not going to complain about it. So yeah, pretty cool find here, I thought. Conan the Adventurer Season 1 from Shout Factory. This is a movie that I've wanted to see for quite a long time. I've always heard good things about it, but I've never seen it before. So this is called The Woods, and I believe this is from like 2005, but it has Bruce Campbell in it, which is just really cool to me. So I really wanted to check this one out. I believe that these girls are all in like a private school, and then kind of weird supernatural things start happening. So I'm sure you guys probably have seen this one because it was pretty popular, but yeah, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to check this one out finally. So The Woods, like I said, I think it's from around 2005. I had to grab this next one because I've heard really good things about it. It is a superhero movie, but kind of one of those indie superhero films. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Miranda over at Miranda's Movies and Grub, I think she recommended this one at some point, but this is called The Scribbler. And like I said, this is a superhero movie, basically dealing with mental illness. So the main character is trying to basically cure herself of this mental illness called the Siamese burn. And so, yeah, I don't know. It sounds really intriguing. It's an origin story. As you can see here, it says one of the best superhero origin movies committed to celluloid. So that was from Nerdly. So I don't know. Hopefully this one will be as cool as it sounds. So The Scribbler, a superhero origin film. This next one, I know people have been finding at the Dollar Tree over the past, I don't know, year or so here, but I've never seen it there, so I figured just grab it for the $3 at Big Lots and be done. This is called The Girl in the Photographs, and I love the pull quote down here, brutal thriller that would make Wes Craven proud. So it sounds like it's going to be really good. I've heard great things about it. It's supposed to be just really creepy, so sounds really cool. And this is actually, it says on the back here, Wes Craven's final film, so I was thinking, wait, Wes Craven didn't direct this, and he didn't. Craven was an executive producer on this. So, yeah, I don't know. Sounds good. I'm very happy I was able to find it. So, The Girl in the Photographs. This one was released by Magnet, and it's one of their horror films. It's called The Ones Below, and it just gives you that, it gives me at least, that Rosemary's Baby vibe with the cover here. I think it looks really interesting. But basically, this couple meets up with the couple that lives below them. They hit it off, but then an accident happens, and it puts them at odds with each other, and then it becomes a psychological horror film from there. So, sounds interesting as heck. I'm really intrigued to check this one out. So, what is it called? The Ones Below sounds pretty cool, from Magnet. Here's another one that a lot of people have been finding at the Dollar Tree, but unfortunately I found it at Big Lots only. Still, $3 isn't bad. This is called Wish Upon, and it sounds cool. It's basically this woman or this girl gets this music box from her father. All of her wishes start coming true, but of course, when things like that happen in a horror film, you know bad things are to follow. So it has Ryan Phillippe in it and Joey King, so a really good cast. And the director's name, John R. Leonetti. I could be completely wrong here, but that name sounds familiar to me. I need to look him up after I'm done filming to see if there's anything else I know from him. But yeah, I don't know. This is another one, like I said, people have found it at the Dollar Tree, but I have not been able to. So I figured I'd grab it at Big Lots. So yeah, happy to add this one to the collection. This is Wish Upon. Here's one I grabbed off of Amazon, new, and I actually got this one, I think, a couple months ago. I just forgot to put it in last month's video, but this is the Creepshow 3 movie collection. So I know that people love these films, at least the first two. I have yet to see a Creepshow film, so I was trying to correct that by buying this collection. These are all on DVD, like I mentioned. You can see they all come on their own DVD, though, which is good. I was looking at the quality on these. The first one is definitely questionable, but the second and third one actually look totally fine. So I'm sure once I watch these, I will probably upgrade them. Creepshow 3, though, I don't think is available on Blu-ray. So either way, I'll probably be holding on to this set because if I remember right, the DVD for Creepshow 3 is pretty expensive by itself for whatever reason, but this one has all three of them in it. And it looks like it is a different region's release with this sticker here, but it's not. Like, they worked totally fine in my player, so I put them on my Xbox One S, I guess, and they worked fine. And so I'm assuming they're going to work on all of my players, hopefully, anyway. So yeah, I need to get around to watching these. I want to do a whole video based on these movies, so I want to prioritize that this summer. But yeah, the Creepshow collection, this was the cheapest way to have access to them, so I figured I'd grab it. The Creepshow 2, and Creepshow 3. And the last DVD I grabbed was one that somebody posted a tweet about that was like, why does this movie exist? And of course, once I saw it, I had to grab it because it sounds awesome. This is called Skyfire. So I thought that the best way to get this was just to grab the $10 DVD from Walmart, which is what I did because the Blu-ray was a lot more expensive. Well, I thought for some reason in my head that I'd seen it on Blu-ray at Best Buy. I went back there, I did, but it was like almost twice the price. So I said, you know what? Just stick with the DVD for now. If you like it, then you can upgrade it. But basically, like, this sounds like I don't know, like a Jurassic Park, but done with this like volcano. I don't know. It sounds so intriguing. intriguing. The trailer looks so much fun. My buddy watched it and he said it was as awesome as you'd expect it to be. So I cannot wait to watch this one. It sounds just so cool. So this is Skyfire, one of those random $10 Walmart DVDs that you see, but it's actually supposed to be a good one, unlike one of the other movies I reviewed last month. But yeah, so Skyfire. Hopefully it's as good as it sounds. Okay, so moving over to the Blu-rays now, and this is just another completely random mix of stuff here. The first one I bought new from Amazon because it was like on sale for $5 or $6. But this is called Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. But what's really cool about this, Molly Ringwald stars in this along with Peter Strauss. So I had to check it out, see what it's all about. This is just going to be one of those like 80s, it's actually, yeah, 1983, one of those 80s sci-fi adventures trying to capitalize on the success of Star Wars and its sequels. So yeah, very intrigued to check this one out. It has Molly Ringwald in it, which is just awesome. So yeah, one of those cheesy sci-fi films from the early 80s that I tend to enjoy. So Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. These next two were ones that I grabbed from Disc Replay used. And so the first one here is a movie that I honestly had no interest in, but then I found the junior novelization for it. And again, I'm going to shout out Miranda from Miranda's movie and Movies and Grub. She said, actually, check out the movie. It's really, really good. So I decided, you know what, pick it up because she's the second person who told me that. My buddy also said, hey, this is a good movie. Watch it. So yeah, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. This is just going to be a family adventure film. But I've heard good things, so I'm really intrigued to check it out. And I have the junior novelization, so I might as well have the Blu-ray in my collection too. So yeah, this one should be a lot of fun. Dora and the Lost City of Gold. This is one that I found out thanks to Miranda. She said I would probably like it because she really enjoyed it. This is called The Iceman. So this is one that I bought used from Disc Replay. And then in the latest Dollar Tree wave, what am I finding but this exact release for $1? So whatever. I paid 5 times as much, but it's okay. It is what it is. So, this is the story of the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski, I believe is how you say that. He was basically a hitman for the mob or the mafia or something. Or maybe, I don't know, he was a professional hitman, whatever the case may be. And so he was a serial killer, essentially. So yeah, very intrigued to check this one out. This cast is great. Michael Shannon is playing the Iceman, but then you have Winona Ryder, James Franco, Ray Liotta, and Chris Evans. Like, that is a stellar cast. The fact that you might be able to find this at the Dollar Tree is awesome. So definitely look out for this one. Have not seen it personally, but heard great things. So very much going to put this one toward the top of the list because it sounds right up my alley. So The Iceman, and this is the Echo Bridge release of it. So cool find. Here's one I actually grabbed off of eBay, and honestly, I have no idea why. Like, I saw the DVD at the thrift store and then realized, you know what? Maybe get this one on Blu-ray because it just feels like a film that would really benefit from watching it in HD. So this is called King Arthur, and this is the director's cut. So I didn't pay a ton for this, so that's good, because I never really even hear about this movie. It came out, I want to say, in like the mid to late 2000s, and I just have not heard anybody talk about this. The cover is definitely familiar. Like, I've seen the poster for it. I know the movie existed. I just don't hear people talking about it. So again, there's probably a reason for that, but who knows? So yeah, hopefully I'll like it. It should be pretty interesting, if nothing else. Just kind of one of those big, dumb fantasy epics, which I enjoy. So yeah, excited to see this one. King Arthur, the director's cut. Next up are a couple that I needed to finish a series that I've been really wanting to dive into lately. And so I grabbed The Hunger Games Part 1, or Mockingjay Part 1, and then The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So Part 1 I grabbed from Big Lots, and I was able to get the sticker off the back, so that's in great shape. Unfortunately, Part 2 does not have the slipcover with it even, which is really a shame because I pulled these a minute ago. Part 1, I actually have like the 3-disc deluxe edition, and I believe this was like a Target exclusive when it came out, and it was really cool when it came out. I loved it. And then Part 2, I opted for the Steelbook edition of. So I have the Target exclusive deluxe edition of the first one, the Steelbook of the second one. I at least have a slipcover for the third one, and then I just have nothing for the fourth one. So that's a little bit disappointing, but either way, it's okay because now I have access to these and I can watch the entire series. So I really want to prioritize this. I've been wanting to watch these for so long. I love the trilogy of books, and so I need to watch this, finally sit down and just see if they're as good as people have said. So yeah, very excited to complete the Hunger Games series with Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. I thought this was a pretty cool find from Big Lots. Nothing I've ever seen there before, but this is Fatal Attraction. So this, of course, is the Michael Douglas Glenn Close thriller, and I believe this is directed by, oh, no, it's Adrian Lin, so it's not who I thought it was, but yeah, I've heard awesome things about this movie, and I always wanted to see it, so now it's in the collection, and this was only $3, so a really cool find from Big Lots, Fatal Attraction. This is one of those random horror movies that you find at Big Lots for $3, and I grabbed it because it has Misha Barton in it. And so this is called Walled In. Misha Barton I love from The OC way back in my high school days, but yeah, this is actually based on a book and a graphic novel. I had no idea, so now I really want to check those out. But yeah, basically there were bodies entombed in this building, and the killer was never found. And then 15 years later, Misha Barton's character is coming to start a demolition on it, and weird, crazy things happen from there. So yeah, sounds like something I'll enjoy, and I love that it's based on a book and a graphic novel. I really need to track those down now. So Walled In. Next up is a Matt Damon film called Downsizing, and this is one that I've heard about over the years but have never seen before, so I figured I would give it a shot for the $3. It always looked good. I remember seeing the trailer for this and thinking that this is something I would probably enjoy, so yeah, very intrigued to check out Downsizing. Next up is part 1 and part 2 of a series, and I love the original, so I had to grab the sequel because I haven't seen that one yet. And I actually just realized recently that I didn't have the original in my collection, so I had to correct that. I am talking about Ride Along, which I grabbed from Disc Replay, and Ride Along 2, which I grabbed from Big Lots. So like I said, love the original Ride Along, and I know these are not the most popular movies in the world, but I think they are hilarious, and so they were definitely ones I had to have in my collection. Well, not they. I think this one is hilarious, and so I need to see the sequel. But I think that Ice Cube and Kevin Hart are just awesome together. They are so funny. Basically, Kevin Hart's character is like wants to be a cop, where Ice Cube's character is a cop. I think they are like brother-in-laws, and so they agreed to do this ride-along, and essentially Ice Cube is trying to scare Kevin Hart away from it, but just crazy things happen, and it's hilarious. I think it's really sweet and funny. I love that, so I really wanted to check out the sequel. I saw that the sequel was at Big Lots for like $5 or whatever, so I had to grab the original, so I had them both in my collection. So very excited to revisit the original and finally check out the sequel. Ride Along and Ride Along 2. Speaking of sequels I have not seen, we have The Condemned 2. So the original Condemned I grabbed maybe a month or two back, and that stars Stone Cold Steve Austin. The sequel here stars Randy Orton from WWE. This is actually a WWE Studios film, so that's really cool. But yeah, I figured, hey, you got the original, you might as well have the sequel. I found this randomly at Disc Replay. It was on my list of like cheap Blu-rays to find, so I could have both of them, and I happened to stumble across it for like $5 or whatever it was, so had to grab it. The Condemned 2 wraps up my Condemned collection, which is always fun. Next up is a comedy that I have no idea how I haven't seen this. I've seen parts of this, like different scenes from it, but never the entire movie. Bridesmaids. This is a blind spot for me that I need to correct, so I figured I would pick it up. This is actually one, I believe I grabbed this one off of eBay for like $4 or $5, and that was shipped. So look at eBay, guys. Like eBay has a lot of really good deals on there if you're willing to look. And I have a couple, like two film series pack coming also that I paid very little for. So eBay has some really good deals. So very excited to add this one to the collection. I definitely need to prioritize this one because it's criminal that I haven't seen this one yet. So Bridesmaids. This is my final shout out to Miranda, but this is another film that she recommended. She put it on her like wrap up video, I think a few months back, but this is called Spell. And, I grabbed it because it ended up being cheap when I was at Best Buy sometime last month. So I figured, hey, give it a shot. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like like Misery meets Voodoo. So there's a plane crash. The family dies except for our main character. He's brought to this woman's house who is going to nurse him back to health with, Mr. Boogedy, I think it is, the Boogedy, a hoodoo figure. So hoodoo might be different than voodoo. I don't know. But yeah, so it's very much that style of film. And she said it was really good. So I am super excited to check this one out. It just sounds like a cool movie. I love Misery. Hopefully I'll enjoy this one as well. So Spell, one of the newer films I grabbed last month. And the last Blu-ray I grabbed is actually a steelbook. I found this one at FYE. And so this one was announced for 4K. It's coming on 4K soon, but I have zero desire to own this one on 4K. So I figured, hey, grab the $6 steelbook, and that's what I did. This is Howard the Duck. So again, this is just not, it doesn't seem to me to be a movie that I would need to own on 4K. I used to love this movie when I was a kid. I used to watch it, multiple times, but I haven't seen it in probably 20 years now, so it's been a very long time. So I don't know, it just isn't one that screams 4K to me. Like, I found it for $6 on Steelbook. I'm going to go that route instead. So yeah, I thought this was a really good looking Steelbook. I don't know what's on the back of this yet because I haven't opened it, but I think the front's cool enough. So yeah, very excited for this limited edition Steelbook of Howard the Duck. And that is, yes, that's all the Blu-rays I grabbed. So now let's wrap this up with all the 4K discs I picked up. One of my go-to 4K review channels called Movie Guy 365, he posted a video recently that was like his top 10 Dolby Vision discs. And so one of them on here was Earth, One Amazing Day. And so I knew I had to have it at that point because he said that the Dolby Vision on this looks amazing. So I grabbed that. Along with it though, I picked up Dynasties, the greatest of their kind. So this is a BBC Earth documentary bundle here, I guess, for myself. So Earth is actually a movie. It's only like 90 something minutes, I believe. 95 minutes. Yeah. So it's just like an hour and a half long movie, but Dynasties is much longer than that. This is a 250 minutes. So this is like a full typical like Planet Earth series. So yeah, very excited for both of these. Unfortunately, Dynasties has HDR10, but it does not have Dolby Vision, whereas Earth does. Apparently Earth is like the only one from this BBC Earth series, currently at least, that has Dolby Vision encoding. So yeah, really excited for these. These were on sale for like $12 each at Best Buy last month, and they were on sale like the entire month. Frankly, they might still be that low. So if you're interested, check out Best Buy because they're pretty cheap right now. So Earth, One Amazing Day with the Dolby Vision encoding, and then Dynasties, the greatest of their kind with the standard HDR10. So yeah, very cool to add both of these BBC Earth series to my collection. The last 4K non-Steelbook I grabbed is one that I've been wanting since it came out, but I was just waiting for that price to drop, and finally it did. And actually, I think it's even cheaper now than when I bought it, which it's still sealed, so I could have waited, but I didn't. So this is Blade with Wesley Snipes. So this is a movie I remember watching way back when it was new on DVD, and I really enjoyed it, but I've not seen it since. And so I'm really intrigued to see how it holds up because, of course, that was, like I said, back when it was new, so the 90s. But yeah, the 4K on this is supposed to be really good. From what I hear, it does have the slipcover, which is awesome. From what I hear, it does age the film a little bit with the 4K, but that's okay. I'm hoping I'll still enjoy it. So yeah, very excited that I finally was able to pick this one up at the right price. Blade with Wesley Snipes. All right, so the last three are all 4K Steelbooks that I picked up last month. And the first one here is one that I've talked about on the channel already. I did a 4K review of the Saw Steelbook, which you guys can see is just beautiful. I love this thing. To be fair, I love the slipcover on this one as well. So really, you can't go wrong. Even if you wanted both, you can't go wrong with this. The 4K on this looked really great. Again, check out my full 4K review of this. It is available on the channel, so check that out if you're interested. But yeah, love this franchise. Love this movie. It's great. So Saw on 4K Steelbook. Here's another one that I accidentally left out of last month's video, so I figured I would just show it here. This is the Wonder Woman 1984 Steelbook, the Best Buy collectible Steelbook, which if you go into a Best Buy today, you'll still see hundreds of these probably. They are just everywhere. They mustn't have sold very well, but yeah, I grabbed it when it came out. It was a stupid price, but I don't know. It's, Justice League it's DC. I love their movies. And so I figured I would pick this one up and add it to the collection. So yeah, the Steelbook is gorgeous. So there's that. Wonder Woman 1984. So I'm going to end it on a classic note here. And along with this one, the same week, National Lampoon's Animal House also came out. I opted to go this route just because, I don't know, I feel like it's probably going to hold up better. But this is The Sting. And this is, of course, a classic. Everybody knows this movie and loves it. I need to see it still, so I figured this would be the best way to watch it for the first time. And this is the Steelbook version with the awesome cover here. Just looks really good. So this won 7 Academy Awards, which is crazy, but it's the Paul Newman and Robert Redford crime film. Heard excellent things about this, so very excited to check this one out. Like I said, not seen it, so the first time I'll be able to watch this is in 4K. That's awesome to me. So yeah, very excited that I was able to find the Sting Steelbook on 4K. And that is going to wrap up everything I ended up picking up last month. All right, so those are all of the Blu-rays and the 4Ks I grabbed. The DVDs are over here too, but there's just too many, so this is plenty to hold up. But yeah, this was just, like I always say at the end of these videos, another really fun month of collecting. You guys know I love collecting movies and TV series, so I love sharing with you guys what I find along the way. But let me know down in the comments below, what should I prioritize? I know that Creepshow collection is going right up toward the top. Spell is another one I really want to see. There are so many really cool movies here that I need to put toward the top of the list, but let me know what your recommendations are. I love hearing from you guys down in those comments below. Also, let me know what you ended up grabbing last month. Anything cool that you've already watched and loved? Anything that you're really excited about? Let me know down in the comments as well. Thank you guys for always leaving comments. I really appreciate all of your support. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a like down below and maybe consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. Like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media, be it movies, books, video games, manga, collectibles, graphic novels. If it's media related, I'm interested in it, and if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I want to encourage you to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.